Geiger, and I would like to demonstrate that a module I developed to manage providers is working as expected. First of all, I used the latest version of Spring and also Java 24. This application uses reactive, and also for this module I used Maven. This is a module, one of the modules I set up for a local microservices application, which is running here. I'm using Edge Service. I'm using Spring Gateway to provide the gateway for the modules to the microservices app. This is my route to the providers module. Let's go back to here, and let me go ahead and shut this down, and I'll go ahead and restart. Nope, it's not working from there. Okay, looks like that started just fine. Using SpringBoot 3.4.4. This also uses Spring Security. The microservices app consists of Keycloak for user authentication, and it also has the microservices app which is the provider module is part of, has a front end developed using Angular, which is here. Where's my providers? Yes. Here we go. Just here. So since that's spun up, let me go ahead and navigate to the app. So if you notice in Edge Service, providers is running on port 9015, and Edge Service is running on port 9000. So if we go here, I can't move that. It's weird. You can see that this started on port. The provider module started on port 9015. If I go here, we'll close this out. File, new tab. Pardon me, localhost, and navigate to localhost 9000. you'll see that the microservices application is up and running. It's called Simply Add. And if you log in, it'll take you to the Keycloak user authentication page where the user can log in to access the application. So in order to verify that the CRUD application is working correctly, I created a Cucumber test that basically adds a record to the provider database. And this is cool. This is my feature file. This is the step definitions file, and you may have seen one of my previous videos. This is set up for reuse rather than using multiple step definition files. I have one step definition files, and for each step I use a transporter to store the step objects record that has the objects that are used to exercise the WebDriver steps, and also the parameters, a parameters object that I pass in that has the parameters for the specific test that's being run. And then I have a dispatcher which dispatches the request to the actual steps class that exercises the WebDriver method for the step under test. So we'll take a look at that. It's a dispatcher here, and it uses a feature file tag name and a switch to map the step to the specific step class. In our case, we're using Dragon for Simply Add, and Dragon has all of the steps, and the convention here is I used an interface to contain the steps for the steps class, and I used a naming convention that lines up with the step definitions class. So if it's I am on page, I click, so on and so forth. And this is the so for each step, it takes the parameter object, the test data that is passed in through the dispatcher to instantiate the steps class, and has a switch that basically exercises the WebDriver step based on the string passed in to the step in the feature file. Also, there is a base class for the WebDriver that has WebDriver methods set up for reuse. So, for example, wait for element, we go here, and this basically has the logic that's used to exercise the WebDriver methods. As you can see, there's wait element has tags. There are a number of methods here that are set up for reuse. So back to drag and step. I've gone over that. Now let's go ahead and run the cucumber test. And this is going to add the provider. Now, one thing I wanted to do is, let me see, cucumber job, drag and steps. We'll get back here. Want to reduce the amount of time this waits. Perfect. So it's another thing I developed this using Maven. This also it's developed using Java. Is written in Java using Java 24. Let's go ahead and run that, and we'll yep, Java 24. Okay, cool. Well, this is compiler. Hold on. Okay, we'll go ahead and compile that again. And back to the test. This is going to open up a local browser. It'll log into Keycloak. Open the side navigation bar. Click the Add Provider link. Oh. Create a record. Let's change that up a little bit. I don't want first name for. I don't want to fill the value in for each one. So let's go to. Sorry. Let's go here. We're logged in. Browse provider. Just remove these. Well, I'm demonstrating that you can remove items on the Browse Providers page. Can also edit an item, so I could is and from updated. And as you can see, first name, last name, updated provider comment, and also last modified on 12/53. There it is. Okay, cool. Now, let's change that up a little bit in the Cucumber script. So, this is I fill field, so let's find And if I go to the dispatcher, and we find simply add provider. Sorry about that. So this actually has its own steps class. Go here, field first name, provider first name, last name. We don't want provider last name. First name and a last name field. And then provider ID. Well, it'd be 0. Okay, and then let me okay. I have to, for some reason with Maven, have to compile it in order for the application to pick up the changes. So, all right. So anyway, let me go back here. Let's see if that worked. It's going to open up a local browser, as I mentioned. Log in using Keycloak. Open up the side navigation bar. Click on the add provider. First name, last name, provider ID, and then a comment. Cool. It'll add the, and as you can see, that added the record. Okay, that pretty much sums up the is it for the demo. One other thing I will demonstrate is the Cucumber application I have is set up to run test in a local web browser and also test containers. So I have a client. Well, it's a family member actually. I maintain their website for them, and I've got a test set up for their website. It's just a navigation test to verify it's up and running, and we'll run that one with using test containers. So is remote equals true. This should be set up in a configuration file and used that way in order to be able to manage it in either an application properties file or a properties file or environment variable, whatever. However, it's working as is, so for the purpose of this demo. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and run that test, and I'll show you that this is working using test containers also. And that should have created that was fast, man. Did that actually run? Let's see here. Yeah. And this is 327. Cool. At 12:58. So I can show you the video of that being run. Finder. Let's watch it. How cool is that? Alright, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching.